Joining me now is explorer Aaron Newman. He was a passenger on that same Titan sub in 2021, and he toured the Titanic wreckage. He is also friends with the explorers lost on the submersible implosion. Aaron, thanks very much for being here. First, our condolences. We're so sorry for your loss and for all of the families that are impacted. Can you talk to us a bit about how you're feeling today?
Yeah, so this is, obviously when this first happened, there was a lot of speculation, and, the focus was on how do we find any possible chance this could be a rescue mission or that this could be a Hollywood ending, and unfortunately we didn't get that Hollywood ending, and so it kind of hit everybody yesterday that this happened, and to some extent it's better that they ended quickly rather than the suffering that they could have gone through. So, but the question is, how do we find a silver lining out of this? How do we make this a positive? How do we really get the attention of people that the ocean floor and ocean exploration is important, and we aren't looking at it the way that we should be?
Well, let's talk about that. I want to hear, though, first about your experience on the Titan. Are you saying you actually saw the Titanic wreck on the bottom of the ocean, and you were in that very same submersible?
Yes. In August of 2021, I went down to Stockton, spent a lot of time with PH, and we went down, took this amazing journey down there. Went to the stern. The stern and the bow are separated about half a mile apart. So we went and surveyed the stern, and it was it was like being on a different planet. It was one of the most amazing experiences, between settling at the bottom and seeing a cloud of mud come around you to just traversing through this enormous hunk of metal that's just corroding. And it was amazing, life-changing type of experience.
That's incredible. I'm sure it was. But, Aaron, how come yours was successful and yet the same submersible imploded on the way down this time?
Well, I mean, we have to look at that, right? I mean, the idea, and we're seeing people talk about this, the idea that safety was not the top priority is absolutely ridiculous. Safety is an incredible priority and was always the most important thing there. And if you look at a guy like PH Nargeolet, who was on board, this guy had more experience in subs than anyone else in the world. And he would have known if this was not a good idea. He would have had the experience to assess whether this was not properly done. Now, Stockton, the thing that he may be guilty of is not following the crowd, not listening and doing what everybody else wanted him to do. But the idea that there was an extensive testing and safety protocols, and he was always the first one in the sub. His wife, Wendy, was always there looking over his shoulder to make sure that everything was done safely and properly. So it's very easy to attack a man who can't defend himself at this point.
So how long were you en route down there? How far is the bottom? And tell us a little more about what you saw when you saw the shipwreck.
Yeah, I mean, this is down at 13,000 feet, which is extreme depth. You don't even understand the magnitude of the pressures down there. It's hard to comprehend that. But it takes about 4 hours to get down. You spend a couple hours at the bottom kind of surveying, and then it's about 4 hours up. So, and it ranges from at the top, you're sweating and you're layered down, trying to stay cool. And then when you're at the bottom, you have wool hats on, wool gloves, trying to stay warm. So, but, again, it's when you get to the bottom, you still have to actually find the wreckage, which is another communication system.
Amazing, really amazing. Aaron, thanks very much for walking us through that. Aaron Newman, thank you so much.